Montreal Canadiens have a successful road trip in Edmonton, and we talk about the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade rumors and the Keith Yandle situation in Florida. But first, roll it!
I want Iguodala.
Let's go home, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go home.
Canadians dominated Edmonton, winning both their games in convincing fashion, 5-1 and 3-1. We talk a little more of the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade rumors after that, and then we talk about the Keith Yandle situation going on in Florida. But first, let's talk about our good old Habs, who go 2-0 in Edmonton on their tough road trip right now in West Canada. A lot of good stuff we saw from the Montreal Canadiens, a lot of bad stuff that need to be worked on. We're going to cover all that. So let's start with Nick. Nick, you have some stuff to say about the Canadiens offense. Why don't you start us off?
Well, first off, undeniably, they played some fantastic hockey the past two games. We'll start with the first one. Very good game from the Habs, obviously, offensively. Price made that game not even close. It could have been close, made some nice saves, but best thing about that game, obviously, is shutting down McDavid to just the one assist, no goals on both games, which is phenomenal. The forecheck was definitely one of the best parts about the past two games. They leave every player on that team with less than a second with the puck. They have nowhere to go with it. McDavid can usually skate circles around everyone else, but in the past two games, you couldn't really do anything, which was exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, it's clearly the game plan for teams now facing the Oilers with a lack of depth. If you shut down McDavid, the trend seems to be that the Edmonton Oilers lose the game. Justin, what would you have on this game that you liked?
Yeah, well, the second game, I'm going to...
You're going to start on the second game?
Yeah, the penalty kill. Yeah. The second game, that was insane, incredible. They're 0 for 7, I think, Edmonton.
Yeah, 0 for 7. They went for 7 for 7.
We were shut down. Like, compared to our first game against Toronto, our penalty kill was awful. I think they scored all their goals on the power play. Yeah.
I think even compared to last year, Montreal was bottom of the league.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Our first game against Edmonton, our penalty kill was good, but the second one was absolutely incredible. And then Romanov gets his first goal.
Clean with it.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Still playing with a lot of confidence, still killing it. I'm liking him. I'm liking him so far.
Yeah.
So, what I really like about Montreal...
No, you go ahead, Eric, man. It's like
go ahead,
host, but no, it's fine. I'll let you go. I'll let you go.
Okay, respect. So, yeah, defensively for the Montreal Canadiens, I think that's what won them both games. So, defensively, the goaltending, Carey Price and Jake Allen shut it down. The defense, the defensemen, they shut it down. Even the forwards, they shut it down, everything. Like, Dano was playing incredible defense. Like, the entire team was playing incredible defense. And that's what won them most of the games. Their penalty kill was really good. They got some goals in there too. And overall, that's what. Yeah. Anyone want to add?
Yeah. Thank you. I think both games, Montreal, they were able to roll 4 strong lines out there against Edmonton. I think the Montreal Canadiens are one of the deepest teams, obviously, in the league. Everyone knows that. I think there's a difference between knowing and actually playing. You know, a lot of teams say Montreal changed. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they changed. But then when you actually have to play them on the ice, then you're conditioning. You're like, oh, my God, they're too fast. They're too strong. And I think that's going to surprise a lot of teams this season, especially, if Montreal can make the playoffs and then you play guys that you haven't played all year. But, they played 4 lines. Their defense was incredible, also chipping in on the board with Petrie and Weber. Romanov, like you said, Justin, Romanov gets his first career goal. It's always fun to see a young guy like that score. But like you said, his confidence through the roof right now. You mentioned the PK. You said the PK 7 for 7 was incredible. But obviously, when you go 7 for 7 on the penalty kill, that means that you took 7 penalties.
Yeah, it's still a ton of penalties.
That is, I was watching. The refs made some strange calls, and then that goalie interference call with Petrie, that was. I've never heard anyone say a Montreal player caused an Edmonton player to interfere with their
penalties. We took too many penalties. The penalties were bad, but they didn't kill us. We didn't.
Yeah, but it's like they want to lose the game because of it. But
yeah,
it's so frustrating to see these.
It is frustrating. Refs
7 power plays. It's not even that. It's like Montreal just needs to be better disciplined. taking
Jake
penalties.
Allen.
Jake Allen was really good.
Well. He played really well in his first game as a HAB.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, Jake Allen was always one of the sneakiest moves that Marc Bergevin made this offseason.
At first,
phenomenal move.
Yeah.
At first, when I saw the move, I was like, "What the hell are we doing? Why would we sign a backup who's making 4.5 mil?"
But he
then
could start for a bunch of teams though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Allen could start for.
he could start for some
Edmonton's probably, like, give
teams.
him over.
Edmonton's
And then he
probably
got-
looking at him.
They signed him to a contract extension, did they not? Jake, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
they
sure.
did.
Yeah.
They did. I think
I really
2-3
like that move
years.
by Bergevin to keep Allen on the books. 'Cause,
Yeah, I
you know,
like
if
it.
He has a great season, and he was on that 1-year deal, and Marc Bergevin didn't want to take any chances. And Jake Allen most likely could have been on his way out of Montreal, but now he's still on the books. A backup for Carey Price is very important for the Montreal
Solid,
Canadiens.
Yeah.
Arguably the best tandem in the league right now.
Yeah.
If he
Exactly.
keeps
Oh,
it
yeah.
up like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even for the
Yeah.
playoffs, if something happens like Tokarski,
Yeah.
like a couple years
Yeah.
ago, you don't want Tokarski in there. You'll have Jake
Yeah,
Allen.
don't jinx it. I don't
Exactly.
want to happen again, but yeah.
That's the thing about the Canadiens that for the longest time is they get injured, or Carey Price has gone injured over the past few years, and then their season's over right the moment he gets injured.
Yeah.
Now they got a guy like Allen. If in case Price hopefully not gets injured, he could take over, and I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't be that scared as I usually am.
Yeah, like
Most teams would like it.
yeah, like last year in the playoffs when Allen was with the Blues, Bennington was not playing well. He was
Look.
atrocious, and then Allen came in, picked it up, gave the Blues at least some chance. But at the end they still couldn't win. But Allen's a good guy you can have as a backup that you can really rely on. Who's consistent. Like last year, he put up some great stats as a backup. Like he played really well.
And you allowed Bennington to get back in his game too.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
Carey Price is
exactly,
having
yeah.
an off game.
Oh yeah.
But like the
People mention that there's nothing wrong with having a little competition for the crease.
Oh,
Allen-
absolutely.
Yeah.
Allen's gonna get his back
Competition
to
invites
backs.
success.
Yeah.
So.
Allen's going to get his back-to-backs, and who knows, maybe he could push Carey Price for more starts, which is always good because that keeps Carey Price motivated and hungry to keep going. And we'd like to
exactly.
see. When I was watching the game, I don't know about you guys, if you heard this, Dave Poulin on TSN was calling the game, or no, sorry, he was not play-by-play, but he was the color commentator. And there was a word he used. He said, the Edmonton Oilers were on their 7th power play, I think, and he said, this frustrated Oilers group. And I kind of laughed. I kind of smirked because, frustrated is kind of a word you don't use in that case. Frustrated is really a word you use when you're dominating and, there's goalies playing stellar and you can't get a goal by.
I mean,
Going 0 for 7 on the power play, I don't know if I'd use frustrated. I think I'd probably use embarrassed Oilers
Yeah,
group.
Yeah,
I mean, they're playing too fancy. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
watch, but the both 5-on-3s are they're.
Yeah.
Draisaitl is trying to make these passes through the crease for like a one tap, and it's like, take some shots. I mean, Jake Allen.
But they're
5-on-3s
close to scoring a couple times, though. They're very
Sure.
close.
They were
yeah.
close. Don't get me wrong, but
Let's
they're
get one
too
thing
fancy.
straight,
You got
though.
to take some shots on that for sure.
For those who didn't watch the games, you might think that McDavid and Draisaitl were on different units, but no, they were on the ice together all 7 times for 2 minutes.
And McDavid
And-
played the whole power play for every
And-
single one.
Yeah.
And they went 0 for 7. They went 0 for 3 in game 1, so they're 0 and 10 against Montreal right now on the power play. I think that's just a big recognition, like we said, for Montreal's penalty kill, which has been bottom of the league last year. And now hopefully, if they can get back to that, when they had Andrei Markov and Subban on the team, where they were kind of mid-tier power play, but they were top 10 in penalty kill, which
perfect.
brought them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
We know Montreal's a great 5-on-5 team. Do you guys are if this power
But
play?
the thing is, what?
No, go ahead, Eric. I'm just trying to make a point.
Okay, we gotta stop interrupting each other here, man. I'll go. Okay, so what I was gonna say was like it's literally just Montreal Canadiens brought a bunch of big bods in, Joel Edmondson, Kulak. I think that's what helps them a lot, especially like just to push them out. Like no rebounds for Edmonton. And okay, go on, Chtib. I'm looking at you, man. You're giving me a face here.
No, I'd also add having like our young guys like Jake Evans come in. He's killing it on the penalty kill right now. He's a solid fourth liner. And then Nick Suzuki's playing an all-around great game.
Paul Byron
Fantastic.
played really well last year on the
Byron,
game on the penalty kill.
We're having
What I was
solid
trying to say
games
is
from our
if-
youngsters.
If Montreal's power play could be in the mid-tier, 15th or between 1st and 15th, do you really consider this team as I wouldn't say maybe not a cup contender. We don't know yet because it's early, but
Playoff
can you expect
team.
this team to make a deep playoff run if their power play
sure.
can stay in the mid
For
tiers?
sure. I mean, look at the Islanders last year. They make it into the playoffs. I mean, I'd like to say that a similar team to the Habs. You know, like a nice in-depth team both on the defense and forward. We don't have the star, like we don't have like a Barzal, but we have that same kind of depth team. And look at them; they made a nice push in the playoffs, like Dallas did with an in-depth team with the defense as well. So you never know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, power play. You know, if you don't have a power play that's successful or is bottom league, you don't make the playoffs. It's that simple.
Yeah,
you
pretty
need
much.
a successful power play.
Yeah.
And I think now with Bergevin's best group that he put together, probably in his 9 years here as GM,
For sure, yeah.
I think this is the year that this power play could really take a realistic leap, because it was first in the league going into the second game. They went 1 for 5. I don't know what it is after that, but it's definitely in the top 10 right now. So that's a good thing to look forward to. Anyone? I mean, it was some 2 good games. I think Koskinen played. I think what Nick said, there's some stuff I disagree. I think Koskinen was really shaky in game 2. That Romanov goal was a weak goal to give up. Yeah. Right now they have Mike Smith on the injury reserve or long-term LTIR.
Mike Smith is the starter, right?
Yes.
No. Well, no. They would go back and forth Koskinen and Smith, and Koskinen would actually probably outduel him for more starts. But right now they got to ride Koskinen, because I don't know if Stuart Skinner's going to get any starts, and now they're going to ride Koskinen with no, timeable return on Mike Smith or whenever he's coming back. You guys really think this could hurt the Edmonton Oilers? Because short season. You think this could really hurt the Edmonton Oilers who are trying to fight for a playoff spot?
Well, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think Koskinen is, a starter goaltender who can play every single game and do like what they expect him to do. I just don't see him as a starter.
His glove was weak last night. He kept missing. Like, it hit his glove and go out. I mean,
I actually disagree with that. I know Koskinen had a couple of bad games against Montreal, but past 2 years, Koskinen's been very reliable. And, I don't know last 2 games.
Very reliable? I don't know.
I'm telling you, pretty reliable.
But look where that got them, though. I mean, they can't make it past the first round.
And also, I don't know, because Edmonton, they'll start scoring more. Like, Yamamoto's going to get it going, Draisaitl, McDavid, they're going to get it going. And then it'll just help defensively and everything. Yeah,
they better get it, but that's the one thing. They better get it going, because if they don't, the Oilers are in trouble.
Yeah, I don't.
It's the same narrative as last year for the Oilers. It hasn't changed. If McDavid doesn't score, if Draisaitl doesn't score, you lose the game. Guaranteed. Well, not guaranteed, but pretty much you're going to lose all those games, because they're bottom 6. They try to, get Kyle Turris as their third line center. I forget who they added again, but I know Kyle Turris was one of their notable free agents.
Puljujärvi's back.
Puljujärvi's back, but
they got Barry.
They got Tyson Barry.
Tyson Barry on the back end, which he played well.
I'm saying for their bottom 6, though, their bottom 6 is not good enough to carry their star players.
They added Devin Shore.
Yeah, and Montreal. Look at Montreal. That third line to Foley, Kotkaniemi, Armia has been quiet. They've had their chances. They've had their chances. I've seen Toffoli's had his chances, just unlucky. I'd like to see him get it going, that line. But the point I'm trying to make is Montreal could really, run 4 lines, and if maybe that Gallagher line doesn't show up, the Drouin line is going to come out, or maybe the Kotkaniemi line could score a goal. Even the 4th line with Paul Byron and Terry Lehkonen could even score a goal.
Yeah. Jake Evans, nice.
Yeah.
Jake Evans got a shorthanded goal. He's been great on the penalty kill, and it's just a cherry on top usually when your 4th line is able to score. But on Montreal, it's not a total surprise when you have guys like Lehkonen and Paul Byron who are able to net some goals. I think that's why I have Montreal at 2nd. I have Edmonton at 4th. With this goalie situation, though, and what it's shown me, I don't know if I'd keep them there. A team like Vancouver, who's 1-3 right now, can turn things around, but the Oilers, this is a problem for them right now. A serious problem. And hold on, sorry. I hate Siri. My Siri keeps going on. Thank you, Siri.
Yo, chill.
I forgot that talkster. That talkster when I say her name. She said you're welcome. But nonetheless, Montreal plays 2 really good games against Edmonton. They come out, 2 wins, still undefeated, and they still haven't lost a regulation game.
Yeah.
Does anyone have
anything else to add?
I have some negative remarks that I'd like to bring up. I know Eric mentioned before, UL Edmondson has been struggling, and I would totally agree with him. He's been giving some giveaways, causing some breakaways.
Very slow.
Very slow defenseman.
Connor McDavid burned him on one of those. Got the breakaway.
Connor didn't blow
Okay,
anyone.
but
Yeah,
also the game before that. The game before that, I think Jonathan Tavares got a breakaway.
He did, yeah.
Because of Joel Edmondson.
Yeah.
But also,
he even mentioned it in his post game that he's not too happy with his speed and his agility, that sort of stuff.
I'd probably go ahead, Eric.
But in the playoffs, it won't matter. Like, speed's not that big of a thing in the playoffs. It's more going to be physicality. So
yeah,
I think he's gonna be a plus more than a minus for.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably disagree. One good thing about defensemen is if you don't notice them during the game, that's usually a good sign. That's usually because they're doing their job. And Joel Edmondson's one of those guys who I don't really realize. So like I have stuff to talk about because he's a safe defenseman back there playing with Jeff Petrie. I don't think his turnovers have been costly. We've seen Petrie turn it over and stuff, but they're incredible back check by the Montreal Canadiens in the neutral zone, and their big bodies in their own zone. They're able to disrupt the play before it's even created. So I don't think it's a major problem right now. Joel Edmondson, I think he's playing fine.
It's the first 3 games, so there's no way that this is. You can't really
they brought him over to just be a big defenseman to do the right thing. I think he's.
The Habs blue line is just everything. They're all over 6'3", right?
Yeah,
massive.
Yeah,
a huge blue line.
Wait, but it's not. I don't really know that many numbers on the Montreal Canadiens, but I know that Joel Edmondson is number 44. So there is an issue. If I know his number, it means like I see him do mistakes.
Yeah, but
I do agree, Eric. I definitely saw some things.
For me, I haven't really noticed him as much.
Yeah.
Like the one time I think I noticed him. It's not a bad thing, but the one time I think I noticed like him on the ice was like that McDavid like breakaway.
Yeah.
Where he was
but you really can't blame him on that.
But you can't blame him on that.
Carlson.
McDavid does have he did to Morgan Riley.
Yeah, exactly. He can burn anyone.
Yeah.
That's the one time I really noticed him. Besides that, I didn't really notice much of mistakes or anything.
And how do you guys feel about that Jonathan Drouin giveaway in the
third tier? Typical Jonathan Drouin.
That
typical
is,
Jonathan
honestly.
Drouin. It's something he would do.
Had to ruin the shutout.
Blue, like come on.
Yeah, toe dragging.
Was it Shore that put that in?
But he did have a nice pass. I don't know if it was the first game or second game, like across the ice.
Grady had a nice pass for an assist.
Let's
totally forget. I mean, like, Jonathan Drouin is one of those guys. We traded Sergachev for him. I think I said this on the podcast. I think this is his last. I think this is his last year to prove.
He'd really have to show us what he can do.
Still that same Drouin from town. This is the last year playing on a line with Suzuki and Anderson. If he can't get it going and they have to move him down the lineup, then I don't know what Mark Bergeron's going to do. Maybe you think about moving this guy because this is his best chance. He's on the top line. He's getting power play minutes. He's playing with Suzuki Anderson. So,
I feel like one of the problems with Drouin was that he never had that guy that he could look to for like scoring the goals.
Yeah. But now he does.
Well, now he has first year.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say Domi's a huge goal scorer guy.
He was that first
Arizona.
year.
That first year. But with like Arizona, he was always like a playmaker and stuff. But like now he has like Josh Anderson, guy who can like shoot,
which he should be capitalizing on for sure. Yeah,
he should. I think he'll have a better season.
And Suzuki, who's turning into a superstar player.
But how are you guys feeling about Josh Anderson? I know the first game he played really well.
We totally forgot. Did you guys see the that injury scare he had?
Yeah, I was scared.
I remember
I was really scared.
I was watching the game with my dad, and he was on the board and he kind of avoided a hit, but then something with a tweak and he skated to the bench and he didn't look too good, and then kind of had that look on his face. You're like, man, no, like I hope it's not the shoulder.
I'm pretty sure he just had like an injury on that shoulder too.
Oh yeah, that's why he missed the entire season last year.
And then he came back. He came back, and then I said, okay, he's fine, he's good, because he said he said it on to I forget who was it, TSN. He said that he would never come back to a game if he knew something was wrong, because that's what he did in Columbus, and he re-injured his shoulder. So he came back. So then I was confident. I was like, okay, then he's fine. He knows his limits. He would have pulled himself out of the game if he had to, so obviously it wasn't that serious. It gave me a little scare, I'll be honest. I was like, holy crap. Yeah. We signed this guy. Now he might be out for the season because of this shoulder injury. I don't know. He was on the bench. He wasn't even holding his shoulder. I just had this feeling it was the shoulder. But thank God. Hopefully that just doesn't go to give that maybe he can't take a hit. I hope
a tall guy like that, a tall guy who's fast like that is bound to be a little bit more prone to injuries like that. Because I saw him; he's pretty reckless.
Physical game.
He is.
He
throws himself in the boards like really hard and coming in quick. It's like, ooh. you're bound to get injured doing that. So maybe he has
Yeah.
to tone it down a bit.
Like when we first got him, I heard he was like fast, but
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Oh,
a big
yeah.
guy like that. I did
Oh
not
my
realize he
God.
was that fast.
He's really
He's
fast.
fast.
He can skate.
Yeah.
He can
Yeah,
skate.
he can
He can
skate.
keep up with Suzuki and Drew.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
And
so that's gonna be. I think that's
That's gonna
gonna
be fun to
our top
watch.
line for the whole year.
Absolutely.
I'll see Galley,
Just
Tatar,
hopefully
and
that
Dano
third line.
performing
I'd
as
love to see
well.
that third line go. That third line get
Yeah.
going with
What do you think
Toffoli and
about
Kotkaniemi.
Armia? Like Armia right now. How's he
Armia's
playing?
been
Armia hasn't.
when the
hasn't done
last
much.
2 years he's always been our big guy because our
Yeah.
team was so small. He was always a big
Yeah.
guy. I always like he always has a great shot. Armia has a good shot.
Yeah,
Great stick,
it's a
too.
really good shot.
He's a great. I think he's fine on that line.
Yeah.
I like
I
Yoel
found him a
Armia.
bit
Yeah.
one step behind the play a little bit past 3 games. He always seems like he's reaching for something
Yeah,
because
but-
he doesn't have that speed, right?
You
So,
could always say that about like Tyler Toffoli though.
He was
Yeah,
always
he's
one guy I
struggled
wanted
a
to
little
keep.
bit.
He's been struggling, but like
Yeah.
at the same time, he has to get used to like our like system and like
exactly.
our
Can't
playing
blame
style
him.
and
Can't
stuff
blame
like
him.
that. So,
I would
we
love
have
to
give-
see. He's had his chances. He
Oh,
had
for
that
sure.
breakaway where he whipped. But
Yeah.
I know he's had.
That was so bad.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I know he's had his chances. He's gonna get going because usually,
Yeah, he's gonna get.
that's a good thing when you see a guy who has chances. When you don't and he's totally
Yeah.
out of the play, then you start to worry. So I think he'll
Yeah.
be fine.
Yeah.
Kotkaniemi, I hope he can get going on that line with him.
Mhm.
And Yoel
Well,
Armia, I've always liked. So
Yeah,
I don't think we've talked about Tatar enough. This guy's just
True.
been sniping.
Yeah,
he's
Yeah.
been
Scoring.
He's
just a pure goal
Like,
scorer.
Do you guys think he can be like a point per game player, close to that, like not franchise player, but like up there?
I think he'll hit what he
Short
hit last
season?
year. I think he'll hit what he hit last year. Well, on pace at least for what he hit
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
year. I don't
Yeah.
see him going over per se, like going crazy.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't develop the play per se. I find him a bit like Pacioretty. He's in the
He
right
won't-
place at the right time,
yeah.
and he puts the puck in the net. And that's
he's
all
not
you
going to
can
score
ask
30 goals if that's what you're
for. Yeah,
asking.
no.
No.
Yeah.
But if it was
I
a
think-
regular,
score-
if it was an 80,
Yeah.
if it was an 82 game season, I think he'd be
But
like.
he might be on pace for 30
score maybe
goals.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Which
No, I
is
remember-
like 20 something probably.
I remember watching the game. I think a stat popped up showing like Tatar had like for the past 6 seasons he scored like 20 plus goals.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
been consistent.
Something like that. He's been
Yeah.
consistent.
So is
with 20
Toffoli.
goals, so
Toffoli's
So is
always
Toffoli
been
too. Yeah,
consistent.
Toffoli's consistent.
Toffoli
so
did have a 30.
exciting.
Toffoli had a 30 goal season like 3 seasons ago, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, with
But
LA.
that's
He
the
can
thing. He's
pop
playing
off.
with Kopitar. He was playing with Bo Horvat in Vancouver
Yeah.
and Pedersen. Now he's playing with Kotkaniemi or Armia on a third line.
So that just shows the depth of Montreal too.
Oh,
That
absolutely.
shows
Yeah,
the
we're
depth
just
of
gonna see
Montreal.
if he can
Shows, yeah.
if he can get going with those guys. Hopefully he can.
A
'cause then
big
you
a
can-
big downgrade, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
but-
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
from playing
Yeah.
with Kopitar and Pedersen and stuff
Yeah,
down
yeah,
to, but at the same time,
He's got to
You
show his
know,
worth a
still
little
good.
bit. You know?
If that
Yeah,
line can get going,
exactly.
then I'll be confident.
man.
Where
If
what
that
I
line
said
gets
with
going,
Montreal at
yeah,
second.
This team's just gonna. It's
When I
hysteria.
said Montreal at second, Eric said he overreacted. Andy Brookman called you out, and now I'm calling you out. You can't say the Montreal Canadiens are overhyped or anything
Hey,
like that.
They're a
Habs-
dangerous
Habs-
team, man. They're dangerous.
Habs
We'll
can make
see
a
at the end
push
of the
for
season.
first. Habs can make a push.
They could
for
make a push
first.
for first. Look at Toronto.
I
I
still
think-
think
I
Toronto's
think they
defense
can.
sucks. I
Yeah,
still think
Toronto's
Toronto's defense
defense
sucks.
Undeniably,
is-
they suck. It's awful.
Everyone believes that adding TJ Brody is the huge difference maker,
no,
but
no.
I don't
He's been
think,
playing
I don't think
terrible
he
for
is.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Terrible.
I don't think he's the change.
I
That's
still
gonna
think their
help them.
defense sucks, but that's just because it's Elise. But I still like their defense still sucks. It doesn't
Yeah,
surprise.
no,
Montreal
it's
has a better decor than
undeniable.
they do.
Oh,
Okay,
for sure.
The
Yeah, for
only
sure.
reason we
Yeah.
lost to them
Yeah.
that game was because of their penalties. I don't think the Habs
Yeah.
are overrated. They're
Mhm.
not the same team that they were last year. They're
No,
not
not
that
even
team that
close.
missed the
No.
playoffs.
But
and beat the
we'll see
Penguins.
at the end of the
They're a
season.
better team.
I think they're gonna end up fourth. I think they're gonna end fourth in the division.
Because
Last
who's gonna
year,
have Edmonton? That
Yeah.
team's gonna
Fourth?
jump the Canadians.
No way.
Edmonton's
Get
gonna
outta
pick it
here.
up. Trust.
Oh,
Like last year, the Habs were known as a small team, but now they've
Now
got
they're
bigger.
big.
Now
They're
they've
a
got
bigger
big
team in the
bodies.
NHL for
They're
sure.
big.
Now they've got big bodies now.
Yeah.
So
And when
I
is
think
Corey
they're
Perry
gonna
coming?
be dangerous.
When's Corey Perry?
Well,
playing
Corey
for
Perry's a
them?
taxi squad,
Yeah.
so he's
when someone
probably
gets
gonna,
injured or something.
Well, I feel
COVID.
like Corey Perry, like you play him against like guys like Matthew Tkachuk, who
Yeah.
can get under their skin because
Yeah,
Corey Perry, there's no one better than Corey Perry to get under someone's skin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so when you face a guy like Matthew Tkachuk or Brady Tkachuk or just those pesty
Yeah.
players there that try and get a
Tkachuks.
team
You got
going
both
like
Tkachuks, yeah.
a Zach Cassian for Edmonton, you just play Corey Perry to just do the same. Get light a fire under a team's
There you go.
ass and just get under the other team's skin, take penalties. That's
Yeah.
what Corey
He played
Perry's
really
probably
well for
gonna do.
Dallas. Played really well for Dallas
absolutely,
last year in the playoffs. He was huge
yeah,
for them.
playoffs. He was a big player there.
Yeah.
I don't know about the I don't know about the regular season though, but
Yeah, he
Yeah.
wasn't great in the regular.
But
Yeah.
I still like the pickup. It's a
Yeah, it's a good
pickup.
pickup.
And
Mhm.
he'll
Yeah, I
have his
like it.
time, and you'll see against guys like Kachuk. You know, Claude Julien knows. He's been around the league. He knows how to counter
vet.
that. And
He's
Corey
a vet,
Perry's
yeah.
the weapon. But Montreal continues their road trip. Not today. Wednesday in Vancouver. They play 2 games, I believe.
Vancouver again, and then Vancouver again.
3 games. 3
It's
games.
3 in a
Three
row,
games?
Vancouver.
Yeah.
And then they have their home opener against
Yeah.
3 games this week in
Calgary,
Vancouver.
28th, I think, like that. So that should be
Yeah.
fun. Looking forward to seeing the new guys in the red jerseys. But let's move on. There's been some rumors, not rumors anymore, because John Tortorella pretty much let us all know that
Yeah.
Pierre-Luc Dubois wants
Yeah.
out of Columbus. A disgruntled Pierre-Luc Dubois wants out of Columbus, and per Nick Kyprios, his first choice is the Montreal Canadiens. Now, he said that, I forgot the Columbus GM's name. It's some Finnish guy, Jaakko. I can't even pronounce the guy's last name, okay? But you know him. Yeah, Columbus GM, they want Nick Suzuki and more. That's what their demand was. Nick
No
Suzuki
chance we're giving
and
up.
Man.
No chance we're
More.
giving up Suzuki or Romanov. Those guys
It's
are
just
staying.
not happening. They have a
I
lock
could-
on their name.
I could
it's
see-
not happening.
I could potentially see us getting rid of Kotkaniemi.
Yeah, I
for
do see that as well.
Dubois.
that's where I was
Yes.
getting to.
I would do that. I mean, Dubois safe pay. How old? He's only like 1 year older than
He's
Suzuki.
22 or
he's
something like
22.
that?
He's 22.
2016
Suzuki's 21.
draft.
He's
2016
young.
draft.
He's already showed he can play on that first line center, put up
Yeah.
ridiculous points. I mean, for
Yeah.
KK, I don't see that. I just don't think Columbus will do that. It's too much of
Yeah,
a risk
but
for them.
there's gonna be some first round picks involved.
Oh,
a couple
for
like
sure. Yeah, for sure.
money players.
So, now that you guys, so I was going to answer my question. We all know Suzuki's untouchable. Marc Bergevin is not stupid enough to trade him.
yeah.
But if a trade around Jesperi Kotkaniemi were to arrive, hold on. Sorry,
Siri again.
I'm gonna rip the Siri button off my computer. I can't say the name. I keep forgetting. It keeps coming up. A trade around Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Would that be something you guys would be okay with if Jesperi Kotkaniemi, maybe a first round pick, went the other way and we got Pierre-Luc Dubois? Even though it's probably, I know Columbus probably wouldn't do it, but if a trade center around him, would you guys be okay with that?
I would. I'd definitely be okay with that. I feel like
sure.
in the end, Dubois is going to be the better player.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's got that
So-
size.
Yeah. Well, we know
he's
Pierre-Luc
a
Dubois is more
franchise
developed.
player, basically.
Yeah.
He's the number one center.
That's
Number
the
one
question.
center, super good defensively.
And Quebecois coming to
Columbus
Montreal
wait?
like
Yeah.
that.
Quebecois,
Yeah.
yeah.
Home.
Yeah, exactly.
But is Columbus ready to give up an asset like that to wait on a guy like Kotkaniemi to develop?
I feel
Probably
like they
not.
have to at this point.
Well, how
They
long's
have
he
to.
signed for?
Well, asking for guys like Suzuki, then you're not going to get that. So you might have to
Yeah.
wait on a guy like Kotkaniemi.
But definitely
Obviously,
some
they're
picks
gonna
are going to be
wait.
involved.
Yeah,
There's
for
going to be some
sure.
picks for sure.
Not
Oh, for
definitely not
sure.
1 for 1.
No way, no
but
way.
No way it's 1-for-1.
Because
Yeah.
I think Columbus trying to rebuild here, though, for sure. They have
you pick up a
Exactly.
guy like
KK would help
Pierre-Luc
with
Dubois.
that.
Yeah, yeah, he would.
I-
And he'd be
He
reunited
kinda-
with Max Domi.
Dubois forced their hand a bit. He forced their hand a
Ideally,
bit,
yeah.
you know?
Ideally, I'd want to get rid of. I'd want to do like KK, and then if we could get rid of Byron
Or-
too.
Ooh, dump that salary. Yeah.
So you can,
Get rid
yeah,
of
because
that,
the biggest
and then
question
maybe
is
add a
when you
pick
bring a
to
guy,
that, but
when you bring in a guy like Pierre-Luc
I don't know if they
Dubois
would do that.
with
That
his
salary is gonna be an issue.
his contract extension, which is like $7 million, I think that he's making.
We're already over. 10.
No,
he-
wait, no.
he-
Dubois making. He signed for 2 years,
2
$5
years?
million per year.
Is it
two
$5
years,
million per year?
Yeah,
And then
$5
he's
million.
still an RFA after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's an
so
RFA
definitely
after.
salary. We need to dump some salary.
He
Almost
scored
for sure.
61 points.
And he'd probably extend.
He's probably gonna ask
Yes.
for like 7-8 mil. when
But
he's,
the question is, if Montreal tries to get this guy, they can't afford that. Obviously, they would have to let some guys go. Maybe like Philip Deneau would have to leave the
Yeah.
team.
I'd be
Paul
willing
Byron
to
would
do
have
that
to
against
leave the
Dubois.
team. Maybe even Thomas Tatar, because he's going to want a lot of money too after this season when he's a UFA.
Yeah.
And so you have Deneau, Tatar, and others on UFA. You pick up a guy like Pierre-Luc, then you have some cap problems. Are you ready to get Pierre-Luc, but make your depth lose some of that depth that Montreal has been so great with this season? I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But something like a
Yeah, I
Jesperi
don't know
Kotkaniemi
about
going
There's
the
an
other
argument.
way.
I mean,
Yeah, it's something I
Yeah.
really
Even
look forward
Drouin,
to. I look
well,
into it.
Drouin's not signed.
Oh,
yeah.
I'd look in train Drouin.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
he's
there's
not-
also the argument: don't break what ain't broken, or don't
Yeah.
fix what ain't broken. You know,
Fair.
I mean,
Yeah.
team's doing well. Why would you sign?
Yeah,
Why would
exactly.
you give away our good players for?
But Dubois is a
Why?
franchise.
He
Dubois
is.
is
That's not.
Yeah.
You can't deny that. You can't deny
Yeah,
that.
but you
Different.
don't want to just ruin the whole system you have right now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
If you're
but
winning
I would
games-
say a trade between Canadians and Columbus is very unlikely.
Yeah,
very
I don't see it.
unlikely.
I don't see it happening in the end.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the only reason
yeah.
it's gained traction is because of what Dubois said that he wants to come.
Yeah, his number one
The only
destination.
reason. That's the only
is
reason it's
to Montreal right now.
We know Marc Bergevin loves his prospects, holding out to
He does.
prospects, except that one case where he
Yeah.
traded Sergachev for Drouin.
Ugh,
that
But
was
other than that,
that was
other than
sad.
that,
Stinky trade.
he likes his prospects. We know he's not easily persuaded to give them away. But
Yeah.
we're probably gonna have more on that. Some stuff will probably come out. If there's talks heating up with other teams, we're just gonna have to keep that in mind, and we're gonna have to look forward to that. But one thing quickly to end the episode to talk about is the Keith Yandle situation in Florida. Keith Yandle was almost scratched in his Ironman streak, which is the longest I think in the NHL now, or the second longest. I'm
Dumb.
pretty sure.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very.
I didn't
it's
like
a long
that.
streak. They almost ended it, and I'm kind of going. I'm kind of going to go on a little rant here against Florida. I don't know how Joel Quenneville, a guy who was with the Chicago Blackhawks, won 3 cups with them, and had veteran guys on that team. I don't understand how a guy like that could try and scratch Keith Yandle. And Florida's justified saying that, he's not in our future plans. We like to try out other guys. Keith Yandle, if you look at his career stats, he got 45 points last season. He's had 60 points, 50 points.
Yeah.
He's a consistent guy.
Yeah.
I really think that this is kind of a joke now becoming with the Florida Panthers, what they did with Jonathan Marchessault. So, the advanced analytics, they left him 30 goal scorer, go to the expansion draft. They fire their coach. I forget his name.
The Montreal, he was assistant coach.
He
Montreal, what's his
coached
name?
in Vegas.
I don't remember.
I forget, but what they did now scratching Keith Yandle, it's like this team got worse. They get better in the offseason, and Keith Yandle is one of your better players. It was Jared Gallant, his name. What they did with
Jared Gallant,
was kind of was wrong.
So some questionable moves by Florida.
Yeah,
They did the same with Riley Smith. They traded Riley Smith too.
Yeah,
He played
Management
well.
problems for sure upstairs.
One of the reasons I didn't like when I heard about Yandles because I had him in fantasy. I have him in fantasy,
But he's still
so
playing.
He's still playing. He's still
scored a
playing.
goal.
But like when I read it, they said they didn't want to play him because they wanted to try some of their rookies out. But at the same time, it's like he's like a veteran, and like you always like to have those like veteran guys playing with the rookies, to help them out and stuff,
Exactly.
and teach them. But and then they wanted to sit the guy. I'm like,
And he's a big locker room,
it makes sense.
guy too.
Weird call by them. I don't know why that was ever even in the question. Keith
He's
Yandle,
also-
out of everyone, really.
He's also like their number 2, and you could argue being their number 1 D last year, putting up 45 points in 69 games. With then Yandle with Ekblad, putting up 41 in 67 games with a plus 12. So you can easily argue those guys being either your number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yandle is a liability on defense, though, but his offense is
improved.
His offense is good.
Defensively,
Like
no.
he's better than anything you're gonna put out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing.
Agreed.
But
Also,
Eric, we have no time. Sorry, I'm gonna have to cut you off, buddy.
we have no time. Oh yeah, there's a minute. I didn't see it.
Let's end it here. Thank you for listening for the
Jeez.
to the Chtib Zhang show. This was episode 4. Stay tuned for episode 5. We're gonna be talking about NFL. We're talking about UFC soon, so stay tuned for that. It's gonna be coming out. We'll see you guys in the near future. Peace. Thanks, Justin, Nick. Instagram,
What's up, guys?